I am Hope here at Crafty Hope, and welcome to my studio and this studio vlog series that I'm doing. It's week 7 of ICAD. Now, ICAD means Index Card a Day, and that is it's the brainchild of Tammy Garcia, who is Daisy Yellow Online or Gypsy999 on Instagram. I'll put a link to all of her stuff below. I don't know when she started this, 10, 12 years ago, but it's basically, the idea is to take a 3x5 or 4x6 index card, no bigger, and alter it each day. And it runs June and July every year, and it's just a way to increase your creativity and do a daily activity and keep it kind of small. Tammy offers weekly themes and daily prompts to keep you inspired, but they are by no means required to participate. Also, my friend Nina Fickett developed her own set of prompts that she calls Mixed Media ICAD prompts. And I put both of those on the back of my card and decide when I look at them if I'm going to use them or not. Now this year, I decided I've had this real itch to stitch, is what I like to call it, and wanted to learn some new embroidery stitches, work on some old ones, and I am working through this stitch sampler book for the most part. I've got a couple other embroidery books that I will reference if the stitches seem odd or weird, but for the most part I've been working through this one. I've recently started skipping ahead in the book because I've realized in the 61 days of June and July I will not make it through this whole book. So I've started to focus on the stitches that interest me or that I want to learn or try or whatever. So that's the basic rundown. If you have any questions about any of this, let me know. It is the 13th day of July, and that means it's the 43rd day of ICAD. The stitch I'm going to work on today is the star stitch. I think that's right. Actually, I'm working on filling stitches at the moment, which are filling or isolated stitches, things that can work on their own, or you can use a bunch of them to scatter in a space. So the next several I really kind of like and would like to work on. So I decided I will do the star stitch today. So the Daisy Yellow prompt today is patina, and the Mixed Media ICAD prompt is directions. So for patina, I looked around my studio trying to find something that had a patina on it. I found a button that had like a little tiny bit of a patina on it, but it wasn't really what I wanted. And then I looked at embossing powders to see if any of them had a patina color that was named patina. And then it hit me, y'all. I have almost two full boxes of what are called vintage patinas. Vintage now, I think, or at least Ranger now makes what's called the ultimate paint. But before they had the ultimate paint, they had the patinas, which look a little bit like they're in alcohol ink jars, but they're meant as a cold enamel. So think like fingernail polish for metal. You can color other things with it, but it's really intended for like jewelry making, which is what I bought it for. So since these are called, each one of us is called a vintage, that's probably not the best one to see it on, but it's called vintage patina. So it says patina on it. So I'm going to use a patina, but since I'm going to use a patina, I need some metal to put it on. I looked and tried to figure out what I wanted to use and spotted this metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree that I think I'm going to use and just highlight it a little bit with these patinas. We'll see how that works. Nina's prompt of directions, I almost immediately thought of like directions for a game or how to operate something, and just this morning I was looking for the owner's manual for my dishwasher, which is acting up. Could not find it, but found that I have an entire drawer of directions for electronics, and y'all, I have the microscope that I got when I was 10. I have the directions for it. I need to go through the drawer, but I found this. I don't even know why I have it, but it's for a battery or something that my husband has, and it's got the directions on the inside that are like in French and Spanish and all of that, and I thought that could be fun to just put on my card. So I'm gonna get started. I'll give you some looks of my stitching, and I'll see you in just a minute. progressed interestingly. It was not at all what I expected. So yeah, I did the star stitch. I ended up figuring out that the metal that I used has all of these holes along the sides, which were exactly the holes I needed for the stitch. So I ended up using those as guides for the stitch. I did alter, you can kind of see, I did alter the metal from this silvery color to like a blue, and then I put like a bronze color on top and did my stitches on the inside. Super cool. I did it on some jeans, attached it to this. I put those directions in the background, and I found that I had salvaged patina Distress Oxide ink that I splattered on the background, did some doodles, found some words. It took a lot longer. This was over an hour's worth of work, y'all, but I had stops and starts and went outside and things like that. And I used some of my favorite colors. There's a deep turquoise. I already put the patina up. That's in the background of that. And I love this like purple color and some lime green. And, you know, it's nothing to write home about, but it was fun to do and use some of my other supplies. So that is that. It seems like there was something else I was going to mention, but I don't know what it was. I don't suppose it matters. Yeah, I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to give you a couple looks at this, and then I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hey y'all, I am back. It is the 14th of July and the 44th day of ICAD. Today I'm working on another star stitch. This one's the woven star, which looks, it's intermediate as well like yesterday's. It looks a lot like the stars with the 5 points and the 5 lines that we drew as kids. It's the stars I still draw today. So my hair is crazy. And I want to do it because I just think it's kind of a neat little accent. I'm not sure how I'm going to work it into this, but I just kind of want to play. That stitch looks neat. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I like it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what's coming next after that. So the Daisy Yellow prompt for today is Wabi Sabi, which is one of my favorite things. I love Wabi Sabi anything. Wabi Sabi is a Japanese notion of things that are imperfect and unfinished and are broken, that are you know, it's also like the sense of death and decay and things that are moldy and rotting and rusted are okay, because that's just the process of life. So yeah, and I love that notion. I like rustic things and rusted things. So that I chose some rusted thread. Why do I do that? I don't know why I get thread and fabric mixed up. Anyway, got some rusted fabric. I think I used this a day or two ago. And it's gonna have some frayed edges and all of that on it. The mixed media ICAD prompt is chain. I'm struggling with that just a little bit, how to incorporate that with the Wabi Sabi, with the embroidery, with all of that, but I think I might just use the chain stitch somehow. So yeah, I may do that. We'll see how that works out. I'm gonna get my stitches done and play with my card. I just picked up some new craft supplies at an estate sale and from a clearance rack, and I might play with some of those things too. So that's the plan right now, and I'll show you the stitch. trickier than I expected. Yeah, you've got to be kind of excited. I got a couple stars that are pretty good, and then a couple that are absolutely wonky, and that's fine. It's wabi-sabi, it's imperfect, and that's kind of the whole idea I kind of kept with, is that it's supposed to be imperfect because it's wabi-sabi. So yeah, some of that was a little wonky and weird, and it's okay. For chain, I did add some chain stitch in a gold, I need to find that back up. But yeah, here's the card. I used the rust and some new inks and paints and stuff I got in the background just playing. None of it is perfect. It's actually upside down. So even more imperfect. So I like it, I think. And yeah, it's just fun. All right. Hey y'all. It is Saturday, July 15th. Yes, that is what it is. It's the 45th day of ICAD, and it is time for a new stitch. Again, I am just going to the next stitch in here because it's the isolated stitches that I'm enjoying. So these are like filler stitches. And so the next one is woven cross, which is a really interesting looking one. It's intermediate, so we'll see how I do. The Daisy Yellow prompt today is repeat, and that's gonna be easy enough because I'm just gonna repeat that that stitch over and over again. So that's easy. The Mixed Media ICAD prompt is triumph, and I'm a little about that. I'm not sure how. I keep hearing like bugles or trumpets or something with triumph, like doo, doo, you know, it's like you've won, ta-da! So I don't know. I'm not sure how I would interpret that. I added gold thread yesterday, but gold thread might be a good way to go about that. Like, you know, you're triumphant, you won the gold medal kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna play again. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. We just finished lunch. We've got something on the smoker, and we're gonna go get in the pool in a little bit. We're under a heat warning till 7 tonight in South Alabama, so yay. My husband's done a bunch of yard work and some other things. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm just gonna stay inside and do some art. So yeah, I've done that. And so now it's time for ICAD. So I'm gonna get to stitching and see you in a minute. Okay, I had to rush to finish the card. The stitch is a little, yeah, it's tricky. That weaving portion of it, yeah, it's tough. I can see it being easier the bigger you do it. So I did a couple big ones, but that's how I kind of made my repeating pattern anyway. It's a tough stitch. I might could use it. It's, you know, but I would definitely want to be prepared for something that I'm meditatively doing. So here's my card. it's interesting. It's fine. The repeat again, I did here in repeating. So I did 3 and 1, and you know, so it repeated. It's not really repeating, but these repeated. I repeated it. But in Triumph, I did add some gold in here for like gold medal, but also the sentiment I used is both about repeating behaviors and as well as getting triumphant success. So I think that kind of fits all of it. So that was the woven cross stitch. Interesting, whatever. I'm gonna give y'all a look at it. I'm rushing a little bit now because my husband says that our guests could be on their way over and I haven't started one of the side dishes. So I need to go and start on that because it takes an hour to cook. Okay, I hope you have had a wonderful week. I think this is only the 3rd day, so we've got more to come. You hang in there. It is July 16th and the 46th day of ICAD, I think. It's a Saturday. It's just before noon. I've been playing around, watching videos and making jewelry and being lazy because we're under another excessive heat warning today, so I don't really want to be outside again. So I'm gonna stay inside and make, and it's time to make my ICAD. So I'm excited about my stitch today. My stitch today is the French knot. I love the French knot. It is a stitch I already know, so it's not a stitch I'll be learning. So since, I don't know, the last 2 stitches were a little, with the weaving, a little complicated and hard for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just play with the French stitch today. But there is an alternate version called the pistol stitch yeah, you insert, when you do your knot, you insert it a little way, so there's like a little line and then your knot. I've done that before once, and so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try to make little flowers with it because that's the alternate version in my book for the French knot. Yeah, I'm excited about it. The Daisy Yellow prompt today is Millefleur, which is basically and I've seen the art, and it's lots of little flowers on a background and typically a green background. So yeah, I went and looked that up, and that's the definition I was given. So I have painted my ICAD green, kind of. The mixed media ICAD prompt today is glazing medium. So I use this Deco Art Americana glazing medium that I have, mixed it with some green paints, and I've done this. It's drying. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of it, but unsuccessfully. So while that is drying, I may bring out the heat tool in a minute. I am going to do some stitches. I've got this little bit of like rust dyed fabric and a couple odd colors of thread, and I'm gonna make some flowers too. I might grab a yellow too, I've got some up here, and make some pistol stitch French knot flowers. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I played with that a lot. So this is the card I made. The glazing medium probably got covered up because there's a coat of coffee over the top of it, but I made little flowers with acrylic inks and you can see did a couple of the pistol stitch flowers, and then did some that's just the French knots, and then all the French knots. I played and actually go through the card once I got all of this on here. So I am happy with that. It's a stitch. It says it's marked as an intermediate stitch, and it is something that takes some practice, but it's something I've been doing for years, so I feel like cheating. Tomorrow I think I'm doing the bullion knot, which is a knot I don't know, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. That's why I kind of just let myself play today, because I was like, I'm gonna do something hard and I don't know tomorrow. And so I will, yeah, I did this and I'm happy with it. And it's got all the little flowers, like a millefleur wood. And like I said, there's glazing medium on there, but it's underneath the coffee. So I will see y'all tomorrow. It is July 17th. It is Monday, which I'm running behind for Monday, but I had to go all the way over to Mobile to take my mom something, and then I ran some errands over there, and finally I'm home, and it's, almost 3 o'clock. It's 2:40-ish. So I got to get this card done. My stitch that I'm going to do today is the bullion knot. So it's the stitch that's right after the French knot. I've never tried a bullion knot. I'm kind of excited about it. It is an intermediate level one and does need to have like a woven or twisted, repositioning, a woven or twisted thread. So that kind of limited what I could do maybe for my card, because both of the prompts for the Daisy Yellow and the Mixed Medium are colors. The Daisy Yellow prompt is vermilion, which is a red with it's a bright red with some orange in it, I think. At least that's what it looks like when I looked it up. The Mixed Media ICAD prompt is quinacridone nickel azo gold, which is a color. This is it. This is the only version of it I have, is the golden fluid acrylic. I love this color. It looks like rust to me, so I'm definitely going to use this, because along with Payne's Gray, it is one of my favorite colors. So, well, in paint. Anything blue is generally my favorite color. So what I was thinking for vermilion, maybe I would do my stitch in vermilion, and I picked out this thread, but it's not twisted. So the only twisted red thread I have is this one, which is bright primary red. So I'm going to have to hope it counts. I think it may clash a bit, but we'll see. I'm gonna stitch on the thread and stitch on the fabric. See, I did it again. Stitch on the fabric, and then, which is just this, because I'm probably going to put the nickel azo in the background of my card. So I'm a little frantic because I lost my card for about 5 minutes there while I was trying to gather everything. So it is time to get stitching. Goodness, that took me almost, well, probably, yeah, over an hour. But yeah, it's fine. It was a stitch I had to get a little fiddly with. Y'all saw some of that on the hoop. I found that when I took it off the hoop, it worked much easier as far as like wrapping around the needle. That was where I was really getting hung up. Off the hoop, I could let the fabric dangle and wrap it. I also tried it with that stranded thread, and it worked fine. It wasn't a problem. So I don't know. I'm glad I experimented. That's something I haven't done a whole lot of, that I really should be doing with this whole project. And experimenting, seeing how I like to do these stitches, because yeah, I need to do that. Like, so especially some of those weaving ones that I was having such a hard time with. If I had been able to maybe move that thread, why do I keep doing that? Move the fabric, then maybe I wouldn't have had such a hard time weaving it. So that's something I need to keep in mind. This is what I made. This is the woven thread, and this was the stranded thread. So I got the vermilion in, and I stuck a little mushroom on. There's my Kodak No Nickel Azo Gold. I like it. It's fine. It's a good solid card. So, and I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, I just threw it on the floor. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. I was just like, well, I just make an arc and kind of do it in the shape of the hoop. And kind of just went from there until I had enough. The bouillon stitch is interesting. It's one, like I said, when I was doing it on the hoop, I was like, I'll never use this. This is horrible. But once I took it off the hoop, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll use this. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to give you some looks at the stitch in my card, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of July, so it's the 48th day of ICAD, and I'm going to work on the Danish knot. So since I did the French knot 2 days ago, I thought, because I started to go, oh, I'll skip the Danish knot. I don't need to know another knot. I'm happy with my French knot, but I kind of want to do equal quality knots. So since I did the French knot, I will try the Danish knot. But after that, I may skip a few more because I'm not, there's a couple I'm iffy about. So the two prompts today I like, but I'm having trouble reconciling them together in my head. So we'll see. I mean, yesterday's worked out great. The Daisy Yellow prompt is raindrops, and the mixed media ICAD prompt is keys. So raindrops, I almost immediately think of a stencil I have that has bunches of raindrops on it. I have another stencil too, I think, that I made that also has raindrops, I think. So I'm likely going to use a stencil maybe on my card. But then for keys, I went back and forth about whether I wanted to maybe put a key or two on there, and finally just decided that no. And it hit me that, and I started to do, because I just wanted to do one key, but the prompt is keys plural. So I was like, no, I need to put more than one because I'm literal like that. So it hit me that I thought I had a stamp that had multiple keys on it. Because I can look up and I can see three that have single keys. So I looked over there at those and found I had this one with lots of little skeleton keys on it. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to both stamp and stencil and get it all to work together. So I'm not sure yet. This is another knot that says it needs thick twisted thread. So I've pulled out just some blue since it is raindrops. Raindrops make me think of sky and rain, and yeah. So I went with blue. This was already in this hoop. I think I'd pulled it out for something else and changed my mind. So to keep it easy, I'm going to use this. I'm going to make some Danish knots with this blue on there, and we'll see how it goes. That was interesting. I think my stand is moving. I'm still playing with this new phone stand that I got that I'm not sure about. Anyway, That stitch was super easy. I believe it was marked intermediate, and it was really more weaving. Like, you made a stitch, you pulled the thread back out, and you wove one way, you wove another, and you stuck it back in. It was really easy. And I realized in the process that because it's supposed to make a triangular shape, it kind of looked like raindrops. So I went with another blue thread on there, like a lighter blue that was also woven, that I didn't realize I had. I did some collage in the background. What did I do for keys? I think you can see the key stampings. I did kind of in various places on here where there wasn't any text on here. I played with this a bit. What I really liked the most about this was to stick the fabric down once I had my stitches. I played with the shape of the fabric a little by ruching it, is that the right word? By crumpling it up a little and then stitching it down with some brown floss. And it was a good reminder for me that, yeah, I'm doing these stitches, and for the most part I'm doing them in hoops and things like that, but fabric is malleable. I can do whatever I want with it once I put it on the card, and I need to experiment with that some. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that more often. You know, there's only a couple weeks left, but we'll see where that goes. Also, oh, what was I gonna tell you? Also, I tried to do that stitch out of the hoop, and it was not easy. It was definitely a stitch that needed to be done in a hoop, whereas the boyden stitch yesterday I found worked better off the hoop. This really worked well with a taut fabric. So lesson learned. I think I need to keep experimenting with these things, and that's why a daily project like this I think is important, because when you're doing something, even if it's got different prompts and all that, but you're using kind of the same materials, you're using the same substrate, you're using fabric and thread, you want to find some interesting way, something different to do with it, and I'm doing that, and that's, yes, 5 stars. Okay, I will see y'all tomorrow. Somehow it is the 19th day of July. I don't even know. It is a Wednesday, and what time is it? Just after 10 o'clock in the morning. I decided I'm gonna do my ICAD as kind of a warm-up. I've got some other things I need to get done today, and I can't seem to get motivated for them. So I was hoping maybe my ICAD would be a warm-up for me. Today, the stitch I'm going to do is, I'm skipping several stitches. I went over a few of them and thought, how much do I think I'll ever use that or want to do it? And decided no. So I'm skipping to the link stitch, which really is kind of like, it's a lot like a chain stitch, but it's a chain stitch that doesn't continue into the chain. It's an easy stitch, but I'm not going to do it as a link stitch. It is the stitch you use for a daisy chain. Or a lazy daisy, which is something that I want to know how to do, to make flowers out of stitches. So I'm going to do it as a lazy daisy. I've got just some, I think this is an old sheet that I dyed with something, I don't even know. And yeah, so that's the plan. I may go look also. I know the lazy daisy is at least one, if not the other books I have, so I may look and see if their instructions are more concise, because this just has it as a variation in like very small print for the link stitch. But let's see, the Daisy Yellow prompt today is focus, and the mixed media ICAD prompt is finger painting. I think I'm going to try to incorporate those in, maybe making somehow the daisies come into focus, but I'm not positive about that. We'll see. The finger painting is easy enough. I can paint onto my card. So I will figure that out. I will show you my stitches. Like I said, I'm going to go look, I think maybe at my other books real quick, just to make sure I've got the right idea for the lazy daisy. And then I'll be back. Okay, the card itself was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. The stitching was fine. Oh no, I dropped something. The stitching was fine. It's definitely something I need to play with. I got better with, as anything, you know, you do with practice happens to me. Sorry, I fixed my necklace. Yeah, anything with practice you're going to get better with. The clip you probably saw, I was showing you that you could make a butterfly with it, because one of the books, I did go look at my other 3 books. They all said basically the same thing for doing the lazy daisy, which this link stitch can also be called a petal stitch, I believe, or a detached chain stitch. But my books called it a, actually I did have one that was called a detached chain stitch, but other books called it a petal stitch and something else, maybe a leaf stitch, I'm not positive. But when you combine it like that, it is a lazy daisy in all of them. So here's my card. You can see all my lazy daisy stitches, which you can apparently do different things, techniques. Like as I made it into a butterfly, you can make it more rounded, more pointed. For focus, you can see I kind of have that reading out, but I also made my stamping it kind of be in focus with the other stuff fuzzy around it. And then this was all finger painted. A little bit of the screen was not, it was sprayed into the gesso, but the rest of that was finger painted except for the black, which was Stabilo that I bled out. So, and that was supposed to be kind of in focus as well. So like, yeah. Anyway, that was, like I said, the card is always fun. I have messy fingers now from finger painting, but that's okay. I'm always okay with messy fingers. Yeah, I'm gonna go see if that has inspired other works of art, hopefully. I just remembered today's the last day of this week for ICAD, so this is the end of week 7. We'll start on week 8 tomorrow. Anyway, if you like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, let me know if you have any questions at all. I'd be happy to answer them when I can. And I want to remind you that the stitches I'm doing, I don't know if I'm doing them right. I'm not checking them because I'm learning them in the progress, I'm learning them as I progress through these videos, but I can't tell you that I'm doing it right. So please don't take this as a tutorial on how to do them, because I can't promise you I'm doing them right. So I would, if you know if I'm doing them right, I would appreciate feedback. So yeah, and as always, I love if you can leave me a comment, start a conversation about this, build a community, and yeah, leave me a comment below. And thank you so much for spending this time with me this week. I will see y'all very soon.